So I'm back from vacation, and you didn't know I was on vacation, but I'm back, and that's fucking whack in the sense that, like, I'm not on vacation anymore, and I could be. And simultaneously, it's kind of cool in the sense that I've been wanting to paint, and here I am, and I get to paint. And so I also was thinking about other things I could do for this YouTube channel, and I get to get started on that. So I'm pretty hyped. This sentence, like, I lost control of that sentence, but let me just start by saying, what the fuck? I left this paint open. I don't know. I almost didn't notice that. That would have been terrible. This is a lot of black paint that could have spilled all over this shit. So good stuff. I really enjoyed doing that Zenishift tutorial, and I enjoyed it so much that right after I filmed it, I re-upped. So I got some of the paint that I was running low on, or like really wanted to do a bunch of shit with. So I really want to try a bunch of shit with Twin Sums. This is a fucking cool paint. And then I just was running out of Romeo and Juliet, which is just a great paint. And then there is the paint that I was personally, I think, like, aside from Twin Sums, the most impressed with was Hemogoblin. So, just to recap, Zenishift paints are really cool because they go over two different colors depending on the base coat. So they will go over one color over black and one color over white. So the lighter color that goes over white will always be at the top of this bottle. So this Hemogoblin goes over this shade of orange over white, and this shade of green over black. And that paint was fucking cool as hell. I was so impressed with it, and I only did one coat on the things that I painted. So I don't even know what this, like, the full potential of this would be with two coats or three. That seemed like I was like leading up someplace way more dramatic than I wound up going. So I just grabbed a bunch of shit that I thought would be interesting to paint and just experiment with this one paint. So I have this Mythic Legions belt. And this shit, quite frankly, I probably got this around 2021 or so. This I dry brushed. I use one of those like round dry brushes, this thing. So that is, let me get a little art by Ackerman. There you go, Curtis. A little plug for, I don't know if you know who Curtis Ackerman is. He's kind of an obscure figure in the cabal, but he makes great brushes. You should certainly check them out. I've painted this so many fucking times, there's no definition left, so I can fuck around with it. I wanted to also see what it looks like when you actually hand paint something with this paint. And like, this is messy. It's a lot neater than the shield I tried last time, but I think it is going to be interesting to see how this comes out. This paint has a color shift, so I don't know even if, like, where the mess is, if you're going to fully, like, notice it. And so the other thing is, I was going to paint all these rivets or divots or, whatever these shivets are called, but I left them because I was wondering kind of like if you would see a color shift. I did like a zenithal priming. So just to review that, in case you didn't see the last one, a zenithal priming is basically when you paint something black all the way around, and then you spray straight down in white. And the idea is, if you were to paint over this all in, like, let's say I painted all of this in blue, right? Like, the blue would be darker here and lighter where this is. So where it's lighter, it's supposed to be like the sun, where the sun would hit it, essentially. This is going to be green and orange. So I don't know what kind of sun you would, see any fucking shadows like that with, but maybe if you're on fucking acid, I don't know. That's one zenithal priming that I did. And then I did these pauldrons. So actually, these are all black, and I sprayed them down, but because these are like so round, the whole thing wound up fucking white, which was annoying. So I went back and I actually sprayed black on each side, and now you have like a thinner, line of white, but I still think it looks kind of natural. Mythic Legions calves, I just dry brush these. I have like a torso. I have enough pieces that I think I'm going to put together like an experiment of an actual custom figure, minus like arms and feet. But I have other things, so I kind of want to see what these paints are going to look like, because I would like to do a figure using Hemogoblin. This fucking head, this helmet. What a stupid way to not know what to say. So this, it goes like this, and there is a fucking face somewhere. Oh, I know where it is. So this I just heavily dry brushed. So this is going to be primarily orange, which is what I want, because the face itself is going to be like an ogre, and he's going to be green. But the eyes, so like, the eyes will be like that, right? So It's going to be, there you go. So I painted the section with the eyes in two different oranges. I thought that I would like it to be brighter than, what's under here. And when you, that's fucking fell. So when you do a Zenishift paint and you want to kind of like give a little bit of a oomph or like a zest or like some other word that means accentuating the color of the background color that goes over white, I generally will use a super, super saturated, some sort of a bright version of that color. So this is an orange over white, this paint. So I did two different fluorescent oranges. So now I'm even going to show you what I use. I am kind of prepared in certain ways, except for I'm not. This is the one that I didn't use, so fuck. So the really dark one is this Pro Acryl fluorescent orange, and then the lighter one, I used this Angelus. This is Sunset Yellow. It's their leather paint. It goes on super matte. I really actually like that stuff. The pigment is really nice. It takes a lot of coats. That's another story. We don't have to get into that. I use these two. I want to see which one of the two is going to really like accentuate and give it like a brighter orange. Or neither, I don't know. And then this is out because I realized, I thought when I was painting it, I didn't have any of this. And then, right before I fucking started filming, I saw it. So this is what I would normally use. And we'll do a video talking about fluorescent paint one day. And it's going to be wonderful, but we're not there yet. Then I have this fucking sick ass like demon head that is, I got it from Rocket Fist Customs, and it was sculpted by Blackbeard Tatch, I think, and I'm not positive, so it's going to be really annoying if I have to go back and fucking edit that shit because I said it all in one breath. So let's hope it was. I'm like fairly certain fucking positive it wasn't. It is not how you say things, but I dry brushed this, and then it was like too much white. So then I went back and I did a bunch of shading with Citadel Nun Oil. And then that was too dark. Then I did more dry brushing, and I just think it's like kind of looks all over the place, and some of it is not as neat as I would like it to be. But because the colors kind of like shift, so the green shifts to orange, and the orange shifts to green, and I should have said that at the beginning of the fucking video, I think the color shift is not really going to make that much of a difference. And I could be wrong, and then we'll know, and I'll be pissed off because this is a great head, and I'm going to have to buy a fucking another one. So this is also from Rocket Fist. I'm like 99% sure it's from Rocket Fist. I know it's a shared exclusive between Rocket Fist and Josh Brown Customs. So if it wasn't from him, it wasn't from Rocket Fist, it was from Josh. But this is a test print that was sent just to fuck around with because it was broken when printing. So I had no, I have like, first of all, this is one of my favorite head sculpts that exists. This was sculpted by Art. He sculpted this, super fucking talented dude. This is an idea from my friend Kevin, NYC Fig Fanatic on Instagram. You should follow him. I'm talking about so many different things, I know. So Art did the sculpting of this was Kevin's idea. This is a fucking great idea. It's one of my all-time favorite head sculpts, actually. It's this like half cyber, like Mind Flayer Cthulhu. I'm not fucking fixing that either, Cthulhu. And it's super fucking cool. Cthulhu. That was like a dad joke. I'm so sorry. All of that bullshit out of the way. This is the like cyber part. So I painted it black, and this will be green. And then I did so much dry brushing over this that I think it's going to be mostly orange. So it's going to have a decent contrast between the two. And then, speaking of contrast, so this will be a green eye, and then this eye will be really fucking orange. Hopefully I used the Angelus in there, and I even went over this here. So like the metal here is black, so that'll be green over the orange. And you see what I'm going with this, right? Because I don't want to explain it anymore. So that's what I did. So I took these like moose antlers, and I decided to do something different, and I actually primed them white and dry brushed them black. And it's messy because like I didn't use the right dry brush, unfortunately. This is the sort of thing where I like to use like a flat, kind of like more traditional dry brush, but the only one I had that was in decent shape was this one. It's fucking gigantic. And also just like that paint is just there to live. I don't know what's up with that, but whatever. The point is not that I'm ever going to use this, but to see like how it works. I'm learning, by doing, and you're learning by watching me do, and that is not how you're supposed to speak. This is also, so this is the loin to go with the belt. And this was just also painted a bunch of times and looked like shit. So I just did some dry brushing and I went back in with black paint and I just fixed some shit. A couple of other things I did. I was priming, and this was actually just like there. Like I went outside and this was, I don't know why this was on an alligator clip. I must have intended to set it up for something before I went away. And so I just fucking primed it. That's not a good story. A tuberculized skull. I don't know. I just thought the sculpt was cool, and we'll see how it looks. So this is like, I don't know which Sphexian this is. It's the minor, I think. Probably it's the one that is like white and pink head. I'm gonna take another moment and just appreciate like the sculpting from Four Horsemen Studios, because yo, when you paint something black and dry brush it, you can really see what you're fucking looking at. And that is a stupid sentence. Like often, you know, I say sentences that are stupid and pointed out. That's one of them. But I think you know what I'm trying to say. So the sculpting is great. So I just did straight dry brushing and let the black be black and the white be white. And again, that doesn't make any fucking sense. And then I did heavy dry brushing here, so you get a lot of orange. And I didn't do very much dry brushing here, so you get a lot of green. And I thought, like, we'll see some contrast maybe, and maybe we won't. And that's just, again, an experiment. I'm learning while you're learning. You're learning from me, and I say things. I got Walter. So I kind of like don't know why I chose him. I also don't know why I decided to leave his face green. I mean, this is kind of, I gotta probably fuck around with this because the face is going to be the same color as the inside of his hood or whatever. But I wanted to see what would happen if I did like haunted looking eyes, kind of. That's that. I think I covered everything. But I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to airbrush all this shit. And I'm going to film it. And hopefully I'll do a better job than I did last time. And yes, I'm just like talking and moving this shit. Like, I don't know why, just I am. So first of all, like, I just want to apologize to you so sincerely because my airbrush is an asshole. So really, I'm not, it's like I'm apologizing on behalf of my airbrush for being an asshole because like it kept on getting, it was just fucked up. And I had like, it needed a very deep cleaning that, you know, I guess is my fault, but I don't want to admit that. And so I wasn't paying a good amount of attention when I was filming. So what I have is a bunch of videos of me like fucking around and trying to clean the airbrush and like 2 or 3 videos of my actually like painting. So, you know, I'm a novice. What the fuck do you want from me? But everything is painted. I did a bunch of layers on all of these, so you would have thought I would have filmed those, but I didn't. I just kind of wanted to get it done, and I was kind of just enjoying myself. So to start off, let's just talk about what didn't work. And also one part that did work. So, you know, I had said, am I losing? This is fucking, I'm an idiot. I see what happened there. So I had said like I was trying to get the orange to be a bit more orange by adding a different paint. So I added 2, and this was I forget the name of this freaking paint. It's right in front of me. The Pro Acryl. I don't, must be Pro Acryl, right? And then this here did work well. The Pro Acryl, I don't, you know, it just looks like a somebody sprayed some light bit of metallic over it. But this took well, I think. And this is actually Sunset Yellow by Angelus. I don't know. I don't know how to say anything unless I hear it said out loud. I was taught how to speed read when I was a kid because they didn't like know what to do with me because of my reading level, because I went to a shitty elementary school, and me and like 4 other kids, they just taught us to speed read by like putting like a book on the screen and just like it, like the words going down like a projector, and then we just had to read it really, really fast to answer like multiple choice questions. But it didn't help me figure out how to like say words out loud because I was just kind of like recognizing what it meant. So I'm like bad at reading things aloud, and it's a shame because I was a fucking lit major and I am fairly intelligent sometimes. But I didn't like the way that this came out. I don't know, maybe I needed it to be like lighter. This doesn't stick. It's also fucking annoying, so I want to stop talking about this. It makes a nice color for skin, even though it's metallic. I don't know if you want to do like a metal like goblin or like a, you know, a fuck you, honestly, orc. Anyway, this whole thing, when I did like the backwards dry brushing, and so like I dry brush black over white. I mean, I guess like right now it looks cool, but, and maybe, I think what looks cool is just the green. Like the backwards dry brushing just, you know, it didn't do much. It doesn't work because the yellow is, the orange is just so light. Let's just go through the heads real quick and just the accessories, and then we'll talk about the bodies. So, I did this, like, this is one of the heads that came with, I actually don't remember which tusk it came with, but it's one of them. And I don't, you know, I don't love how the sides and top came out. I think it's kind of like boring looking. It's fine, but like, I don't think it makes the best use of what the paint can do, I guess is what I should say. But you can see, right? Like the color shift is here because we have light coming from the side. You know, I don't know. I never really addressed that. I should go over that a little bit later. But in the front, it looks good because there's enough going on in this sculpting. There's enough raised areas, essentially, right? That like you see, like, I guess when I was dry brushing, I was able to catch something there and it gets a little bit more orange. But, you know, like it doesn't really look like this was dry brushed and there's like a real difference between the base color. It looks organic, like the paint is supposed to look like that, which I like. This isn't the best sculpt for it. I mean, I don't know. Here it's pretty impressive, but whatever. I did a Torpiculi head. I didn't gloss this, so it doesn't have that finish it really should have, but it looks cool with this sculpting. I don't know if it looks like great. So this is the Sphexium head. This is on the Sphexium like mine worker. It's actually, there's a video on my channel of my daughter with this actual Sphexium, and she did say it looked inbred, and she's not wrong. But also in that video, I had these on backwards, and that's just a little story about something else. This came out like great. And again, by the way, so I have a Ulanzi here, right? That's because you can see, like, if I was to turn this off or away, and this is away, you see the difference, right? Paint looks nice, but you can't really see like a full like color shift, or like really there's just something missing, right? But now I have this paint on this, I have a light here and this, and that is what you need to do for color shift paints to really, really get like the view of, or like to see the full like potential, I guess I should say. And you know, I'm gonna go over like that's like a whole video, so that's that for now. But that's why I'm holding a light. This looks amazing. Like it still looks organic, which is interesting because it is a metallic paint, right? But, and I glossed it, but I mean, it looks crazy. And I think insects can like work with some metallic paints, because they're just crazy looking in general. Like if I had painted the eyes, you know, like a different color than this. But yeah, like the bottom really looks really good. Just something about the way that this is sculpted. You know, this is again like Four Horsemen Studios doing some really crazy ass shit, and that is why I love Cosmic Legions. You know, some people love Mythic Legions and they'll never accept Cosmic Legions as like as good as Mythic Legions, and like fine, some people are fantasy people, but like the Cosmic Legion shit at its best is wild, and it is better. And I'm so sorry if you disagree. You're just wrong. Sometimes you're wrong, people are wrong, it's fine. This is, just to say it again, so this is the Key In is the name of this head. You can get it from Josh Brown Customs and Rocket Fist Customs. It's exclusive. It's like a shared exclusive to them. They do that a lot. The concept is from my friend Kevin, whose Instagram is NYC Fig Fanatic, which is like a mouthful to say every time I want to say it. So I'm going to try to just call him Kevin or not say anybody's name again. But it's one of my favorite head sculpts, like for real. I bought one, I painted it, I bought another. I went to Legion's Con, I bought like 3 of them from Josh Brown Customs. And it came out so good, and this is not really that noticeable. I might put this on a figure. But the orange, like, I wish that when I did this, I was more heavy on the white paint here, because the kind of the difference between the two, it looks okay here, but I think generally you don't see like as stark of a difference, that it looks that much like this is like flesh and this is metal. But it came out great. Like this head sculpt, this kind of thing is really what I think Hemogoblin is great for when you do like a head. Because I mean, just look at that. Like that is just, it's really, really, really extraordinary. And I just found the best way to light these. And I already showed a bunch, but like this, that looks really, really great. Oh, by the way, Gian Art sculpted this. And this is Blackbeard attached. So this looks fucking wild. Do you see this? Like this sculpt is insane. I keep on hitting the camera because I'm trying to get the lighting right. But like this, look at how perfect. Like this is really, I think Hemogoblin, you need stuff like this to really have something wild, like crazy. Like this is just like, I don't know, it's like, it's just so fucking badass. Fucking, I don't know, like look at that right there, right? You see that there's the color shift because there's no light there, and then here we are. And like this was all dry brushed the same. It's not that I dry brush this more orange, it's just where the light hits it. So it's just amazing that there's a color shift, and then there's 2 different colors on it, and each color has a different shift. Like this shit's hard to look at and process what you're looking at. I'm gonna say this too. I have nothing to do with this looking good. This looks good because Blackbeard Attach made something fucking crazy looking, and because fucking Turbodork are like a bunch of mad scientists. And so they created these paints that are insane. I just added the 2. And like the best you can say is that I chose to take 2 things that were great and put them together. It's like making peanut butter and jelly if jelly was not gross. One other thing, where'd that fucker go? It was like just here. I know because I kept on almost picking it up. Update. It was right here the whole fucking time. So like I fucked up the paint here. It went on too thick. Now, like I said, I was having problems with the airbrush and it was like really clogging up. And then it was just like way overspraying, and then it was clogging up and the paint was drying on the outside, and there's so much to talk about there. And whatever, anyway, it fucked up this shield. Like you can see here, like I accidentally touched it. There was too much paint on there, but that's all right. Because I didn't expect to, like, it looks good from here, as a matter of fact. But like, what I wanted to use this to demonstrate was just what a lot of green looks like with this paint on a slightly rounded surface, because a lot of Turbodork paints, and not all of them, look really interesting on a surface that is kind of rounded, because you can see a little bit of a color shift. There's that orange, that it's like this yellow, it's like green to yellow to orange. And if just looking at this, and it is, you know, like the orange around the edges came out terrible, but I think I stopped trying to fuck with it. But even this is like concave, convex, that's the word I was looking for earlier. This is concave, but like you can see, like the green isn't just green, like on its own. It's a really nice green. So it's a really interesting paint. That's the point. I missed the head. Oopsies. This is so fucking metal. I ran out of like thoughts for my brain to use. Just to quickly switch gears before we get to these guys, we have to talk about like complementary paints. On the Turbodork website, it will list almost always 4 complementary paints for every paint that you are looking at. This is, I don't like the way it looks there. There are 4 paints that are recommended here. So Summoning Sickness is one of them, and it is this super, super fucking cool, like vibrant yellowish green metallic. It does not look like that. Well, that's a nice pretty color. It looks like this. And it looks a little bit like vomit, and a little bit like toxic waste. But in a way, that's good. Obviously, you don't want a metallic, you know, like vomit color. So that's not exactly what it is. But it is called Summoning Sickness, because it looks like that and like rot, kind of. And I really love it. So they recommend this. And that makes sense because, you know, if you look at something that has the green, where's that shield? Right? this matches very nicely. And then because it's yellower than this, it's kind of going to meet that orange. And then the other color that they recommend that's not a turbo shift is Orange You Glad, which is just every time I say this out loud, I read this and it's not that funny, but the few times I've had to say this out loud, I've giggled a little bit at the name. But this is their lightest orange, so it makes sense. It's still more vivid. What is the almost orangey orange that I painted? Even this, you know, it's still lighter. They have 3 oranges. This is the best match, and it's, you know, you don't want an exact match anyway. And then they recommend Forest Flux. Forest Flux is one of their paints that has like, so a lot of their paints will be like a shift from one color to another. So it'll be like a blue to purple shift, and then, you know, that's it, which is enough. Like, that's not a criticism. And then they'll have some paints like Forest Flux, Laserface, Dream On, Skyrat, which are like more colors than they even list. Like, it'll show 3 to 4 colors in the description, but like, I feel like I look at it and I see 7, and it's colors that may not exist yet. So Forest Flux is insane. It's actually kind of hard for me to even show like and demonstrate here. This is painted in Forest Flux. So like, there's yellow. I actually think right now you can't see the yellow, but you can see the blue. It's like a green blue, like a like an aqua almost. There, you see that? There. That's really aqua. Aqua. I feel stupid when I talk on this like show because I apparently I can't pronounce words. I don't know if in my old age I'm getting dumb. This one fell. Let's see. So this is Forest Flux here. There's some yellow in there, and it matches, and you're gonna have to trust me because like it's hard to film. It's like impossible. You will never ever be able to get Turbodork to look on camera the way it looks in person. Last one is interesting. It makes sense, but I wouldn't have thought about it. Its ground is lava. Their description of this paint is on the bottle. It's a UCL description. Deep reddish orange to vivid orange yellow. So the vivid orange yellow is the shift. So when it says blank to blank, the second one listed is going to be the shift, right? So now the deep orange yellow around the corners, that's what's going to match this orange. So if you see, right, you see how like you're looking straight at this, and that's that first description of like whatever reddish orange, right? But on the side, that's like orange yellow right there. And that's how like these Turbodork paints work. But now, and it's gonna be really hard for me to do this because, you know, I've only got so many hands, but let's see if this kind of like works. So you can see how that orange matches this orange here, but it's not exact because these are recommended as complementary paints. Sometimes they're too close for me if I want to like, you know, paint something and it's like flesh, and then I want to paint like clothing, you know, that might be too close. I don't think that that's too close, but some of these, like if you did like Forest Flux and, you know, this, you kind of have something that looks like the same color. So using what I had painted, I was able to put together 2 figures, kind of. What was interesting to me, and I'm not certain I figured out exactly why, but basically what I think it is this torso has a lot more orange than this one does. And I think it has more orange for 2 reasons. It's a lot more orange because this is convex. Convex, yes. So that you have the color shift with the orange. And then I painted it orange, but like in large sections. So that's the difference between that and this is like also convex because it's like, you know, chest, but like there's all of this sculpting that interrupts that. So you don't have the same color shift in this green. It really just looks green. And then the rest of the orange is just like dry brushed like highlights and these divots. Guys, my brain just fucking broke. Did you hear that? Jesus. So whatever it is with, you know, this paint kind of having more in it, I guess is the best I can describe it. It works decently with different paints. Say, can anybody guess how many paints on this figure are done with Hemogoblin? 1. This is Scarab, which is like, I don't know if you can see it here or not, but this has like this like green straight forward, and then like it's like a yellow green, and then it goes to like a blue. I don't think that looks great with Hemogoblin because the blue is very like a deep blue, but it also has Summoning Sickness dry brushed there. If you can see it, I'm not sure. So that does match really well. That like yellowish green to this. It's like really perfect. And then this is Forest Flux. I'm gonna have to focus in. Forest Flux. Forest Flux dry brush very lightly with Summoning Sickness, so that like really looks good. Forest Flux, but there's not enough. I like just painted this, so there's not really enough. But you can see like there's a lot of color in there. You see the blue, and you see how it's yellow, and you see how it's green, right? What's going on? Shit's fucking crazy. People like trash these Mythic Legions legs. And I guess like whatever, it's not everybody's taste, but they're so fucking metal and badass, but also they work really well for color shift paints. Because you can see like there's the movement. And then here, this is so heavily dry brushed with Summoning Sickness that like it's almost not like looking whatever the base was. I went through a phase and I was just covering every green with Summoning Sickness like a fucking psycho. But yeah, it matches really well. Like you would think it's Hemogoblin, and it's not. So what was interesting is that this works with every single head really nicely that I paint in Hemogoblin. Perfect. It doesn't even look like it's too matchy-matchy, right? Sorry, I hit that again. Perfect. This isn't going to stay on that neck very well, but like, looks good. I'm missing my best friend. This is my drinking buddy. His name is Igor. Looks really good, right? There's another one I'm not using it. So like this just, to me, it's versatile in the sense that like the heads look good, and the heads don't look like too similar to the body. It's probably because they're just so dry brushed. So the more orange there is, the more versatile it is, right? So this, all the orange on this is really just highlights, like in the sense that it's like, you know, just like very typical dry brushing. What is interesting about that is it made this, like this did not match. It just looks good with the same color, but that works because there's so much color in here. Like it looks okay with the Forest Flux, and it looks really good with Summoning Sickness, but like the versatility is really not there. It looks okay. I don't have anything painted in the Orange Glad, so, you know, whatever. The other thing, really quick, this is what I did that Zenithal priming on. So you see that? Hold up. And I had said, like, I had painted it white in the top and then went back to get more green by doing it around the sides. So this, I did not think that this was going to look great. I didn't know if it was even going to look good. It looks really fucking cool. Like, because like this orange is like an oxidized orange, like something happened to the armor. Like this looks like if you left this shit out in the sun and the sun just fucked it up from straight down. Like it obviously, if you had a really light orange and a darker orange, and you get the effect of like the sun hitting it down because it would be lighter, but it looks like the sun fucked it up somehow. I'm really happy with that, how that part came out. I'm sitting down for a second, so I hope this isn't focused. My fucking back hurts. Just old. Here's the thing that was weird to me about this and totally unexpected. It doesn't look great with any of the heads. It doesn't look right. Somehow it doesn't look right. Which surprised me and like confused me. Like you would think that this would look all right. It just doesn't. It just looks off. This looked okay, by the way. I think it's because it's dark green here, so it's like not so much going on like this. Like the more orange, it seems to like not work. I'm not sure. That's a theory. I haven't really figured it out. It looks good. The first head that I found that it looked good with was done with Fey Wilds. Now Fey Wilds it's another Zenishift, and over black it's a green, it's a different green, obviously, and over white it's pink, as you can see. So this, and like I used this in the first Zenishift video, but if you didn't see that, this is from Wolf King Customs, and it was sculpted by Walter DeMarco, and it is like a wild fucking sick head that I love, and I wound up using this to demonstrate it because I broke this, like, so I found it on the side with the many sculpts that I break because I'm an asshole. This looks really good. I like how this looks together. And I think it's because, I'm just going to put the light out over here. It's because it's a different green. Like, that is my theory. I'm not sure, but I like when it falls. I don't like that. That's a lie. I like the way it looks. This is Laserface, which is paint I fucking love. And then I dry brush this with Summoning Sickness, actually. It's interesting because Summoning Sickness works with Laserface, but Laserface doesn't work great overall with Hemogoblin, even though Hemogoblin is, those are like Summoning Sickness is one of the colors that best matches both, but like this like magenta red kind of throws it off. But in this case, because the orange is right here, it does look pretty good. I like the way this head looks with this body. By the way, this is I said Forest Flux like works with blue. So dry brushing Forest Flux with Summoning Sickness, it'll look like that, right? Dry brushing it with this paint, it'll look like that. And that is a fucking versatile Turbo Shift paint. Turbo Shift paint. Hemogoblin was the one that I wanted to do first because I had already done like a torso that I thought came out good. So I thought if I like, you know, used it and as my, like I could basically make a full figure. Like somewhere out of the two of these, you know, I'm either going to wind up with one or two full customs. The other color that I really wanted to try was Twin Suns. This is blue over white and green over black. I didn't check this out because I didn't think of it until right now. I don't even care whether or not I hit the camera, and I'm trying to keep things in focus, but I just want to wrap this up. So this doesn't look great. It's because the greens don't really match, and you know there's like way too much blue. Orange and blue don't match. And you know, I'm gonna tell you something about me. Like, I live in New York, and you know my dad was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan, so like I'm a Mets fan. And people like trash Mets fans all the time, but like nobody is more fucking dedicated than a Mets fan, because you try to put on a fucking Mets like a t-shirt or like hat and have it match the rest of your fucking clothes. You cannot. You know, even Turbodork is showing me right now that like you can't make that shit work. Way to sound intelligent, Jay.